You're about to listen to a Gaming Stooges podcast with your regularly scheduled Stooges.
I'm Jack.
The internet calls me Cloud.
And I'm Landon.
We hope you enjoyed today's discussion, and if you do, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel, following us on Twitch, or joining our Discord. Let's get on with the show.
Did you guys hear?
Did I hear what?
Did I hear what? Yeah. Wait, what?
The Wii won.
As a matter of fact, I have heard that.
Oh, good.
The Wii did win. And that's what we're here to talk about today.
Good job. He nailed it. See? We don't have it, folks. We don't write scripts for these.
We did absolutely do
We
not.
did a podcast episode recently on the generation of systems that the Wii came from, and we went on record saying that the Wii won.
Yeah.
Now we're going to talk
explained
entirely about the Wii. That's how much
We
it
also
won. It gets its
explained
own podcast.
the origin of
I
the
just-
Wii won.
Yes.
Well, we already talked about that in that podcast.
That's what I was saying.
I just listened to that podcast like 2 days ago, and
Wow.
I know. I was driving home. Imagine that.
Avid fan of Gaming Stooges podcast.
It's
Gaming
me.
Stooges member Jack.
Yeah, but I'm gonna try not to repeat myself when we talk about the things that we're talking about tonight.
Bronze-tier, jeez. Bronze-tier. Bronze-tier Stooge, Al, says, hire some writers.
Hire some writers.
We are the writers.
We can't afford ourselves.
We already have. Listen, we already have Trader and Cheese Whiz. They're doing all they can. Like
We barely afford ourselves.
Yeah,
We barely afford ourselves on the salaries we give ourselves.
which is nothing.
So Landon actually has the notes this time.
I'm in charge tonight.
He's in
'cause
charge.
My phone
Has
as
the
you can
notes.
see, has white scribbles on a black background, which means I'm in charge.
It's the Notes app.
He's even wearing a professional button-down shirt to let everybody know he's in
It's
charge.
just a polo. It's not even a button down.
Oh,
It's-
it looked like it was an actual button-down for.
Not all the way. It goes to about there. I can show that much skin.
Woo!
You should watch the Twitch streams when you get a chance. Watch
Yeah.
these live instead of audio-only post. Alright, so let's talk about the Wii. The Wii had 3 iterations. The original model, the best known, because it was the one that...
It's the one that
had the
matters.
GameCube. Yeah.
When did that one
GameCube
come out?
port. That one originally came out November 19th of 2006, or 2006 for some people.
It's my mom's birthday.
That is in North America. Japan got it December 2nd in 06, and then it was like scattered around after that in different regions. I didn't bother.
I forgot we got the Wii first.
We got the Wii first almost. It was like half a month ahead of time.
Yeah.
So it was like
Yeah.
crazy. And then there is the revision, the quote unquote RVL 101 revision, which the North Americas, all the North Americas got October 23rd, 2011.
Wow, I forgot just how late that came out.
Hey, do you remember when the fucking Wii Mini came out?
I do, and it was a
2012,
piece of
right?
shit.
It was like right before the Wii U, wasn't it?
November 17th, 2013.
after the Wii U.
After the Wii U.
By
After
1 year.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
And that was specifically only in the United States. It didn't have like an entire North American release, if I remember right.
Like,
Wow,
That
and
one-
it wasn't even outside of the United States at all. It was just United States.
I don't know about. I just remember the United States was the primary target focus for it.
it's just truly did not help the Wii U's sales that Nintendo put out a Wii revision 1 year after the release of the Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
That's how bad the Wii U was doing.
Okay, my notes also say the lifespan for the Mini was 2012 to 2017, so let me go do some fact checking real quick.
I was going to say, I think I remember that coming out before the Wii U, but I could be wrong. It seemed a little.
I was gonna say, I feel like I remember seeing the Wii Mini in stores before the Wii U had come out, but I might be mistaken. Like I could swear I thought that they.
Oh.
Oh.
So the Wii Mini released in Canada December 7th of 2012.
Oh.
In Europe in March 22nd, 2013, and then the US got it super late.
Oh,
So,
okay.
what
We
the
actually
fuck?
got it even later.
Why did Canada
Yeah.
get it a year before the United States?
I don't know.
That's
But yes.
fucking
So
bizarre.
that's I was only focused on the US because that's where we live.
Yeah.
So. But that also makes sense why the lifespan was 2012. Anyway, I'll keep reading my notes. The introductory price of the original model was $250 United States currency. The lifespan for each model, 2006 to 2013 for the original, 2011 to 2014 for the 101, and then the Mini was from 2012 all the way to 2017.
Interesting.
It's crazy that they kept
now,
that in circulation for as long as they did.
Worth noting, that revision it had the same structure, like the same, like it looked like the original model, but it did not have GameCube backward compatibility.
Correct. They
It was
removed
just-
the
it's just-
GameCube.
It's just
ports.
completely flat on top.
Yeah, it's no tray to flip up or anything. And that, as far as I can tell, did not release in Japan. That was only North America, Europe, and Australia.
Weird.
As of 2022, so a year ago, as of the recording of this podcast episode, the sales for the Wii were 101.63 million units, and it's the fifth best-selling home console.
The crazy thing it's worth noting is that like 90 plus million of those, like almost all 100, like almost like all but maybe like 5 or 8 million of it was before the Wii U even came out. And like a year before the Wii U came out. Like it was like it slowed to a crawl by like 2011.
I was gonna say, like, it's kind of weird to look back and see that the Wii's like overall sales were not as insanely high as they could have been. Like, the sales did definitely slow down at a certain point, but like when it came out, it was like
You couldn't find the damn thing.
I really cannot remember a console selling like as fast or like people talking about a system as much as the Wii when it came out, because like everybody was talking about the Wii. Everybody was trying to buy a Wii, and they were impossible to find. And this was before the days of like online shopping too, so you just kind of had to like get lucky and go to a Toys R Us and like maybe they got a shipment of like 30 Wiis.
Yeah, not just the Wii, honestly, probably all three consoles, but I mean less so the 360, but like probably less so the PS3, but like that was the generation of like people constantly giving stories of like, oh, I've been looking everywhere for this system and I just can't find it. It's never in stock. Like those kind of stories were pretty common back then.
You know, I love it when people still think it's really hard to find PS5s and Xbox Series systems.
It's really not.
It's not.
Like, they go, oh my god, you have those in stock? I'm like,
Yeah.
It's like they fixed the stock problems a little while back now, dude.
yeah, like,
I mean,
you should have been here last year.
that was an issue for what, like a
I mean,
year?
it was admittedly a big issue for a good solid year, up to 2 years, but after the second year mark, there was definitely no issues.
Yeah. But yeah, so the Wii also had those issues, but it turned around, like, I want to say pretty quick. Like, you could start finding them again. I think part of it was Nintendo did not anticipate just literally how much hype they were generating with the Wii.
Yeah, it was similar issue with the Switch, honestly. They kind of undershipped, they under-exported, because they were like, well, we'll be a little conservative about it, see if, people want it, and then we'll start getting out as many as we can when we see the demand. And like, there was way more demand than supply for quite a bit.
The other reason for the Switch is there was a lot of port strikes, like strikes happening in like the ports.
I didn't know about that. We'll have to talk about that on a podcast one day.
Yeah, that was. You learn some stuff when you work in the industry. I say that as if I work in. I don't make video games. I made a video game once, folks. Check
you
it
did.
Out. Lexian's Quest, a certain generic RPG. Plug.
When's that?
Anyway.
When's that podcast?
Sooner than
my
you
response. think. And I mean, once we're so devoid of topics.
Lexian's Quest, a certain generic podcast.
Speaking of the Switch, I actually wanted to mention that the Wii was Nintendo's best-selling home console up until 2021 when the Switch ended up surpassing it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I mean, it is a system, and I think part of it, hear me out, it sold with the killer app.
It did.
True.
When you think about like games launching with a pack-in title that really says, "Get this system now," that's the Wii Sports.
Yeah.
I would
For
say
sure.
the only other system that comes close to the Wii with a pack-in title that's just the killer app is Tetris for the Game Boy.
Oh yeah, no, that's totally legit.
Yeah.
Those two are on a completely other level compared to anything else.
But the Wii with Wii Sports, like, that was
let's be honest.
That's all
the
you need.
Wii Sports sold over 80 million copies. I don't have the exact data in front of me. I know it's over 80 million copies, and almost all of those are
82.9 million.
Yeah, and almost all of those were because it was a pack-in title with the first model Wii, which sold the most by far.
Yeah.
So that goes to show.
And it also had a pack-in with Mario Kart Wii at one point as well.
I remember that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. They also did some with New Super Mario Brothers Wii.
Yeah, and like Mario Kart Wii sold almost 40 million. It was like 37 million. So like it, like the high end, like the Nintendo games had some pretty strong like buying power on it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I will go ahead and throw the only podcast question I came up with, because I didn't care to think, I guess, or
Fair enough.
write anything down.
I got questions that I can ask.
Yeah, well, I figured Jack could do something.
I'd
be
be
going to do
mediating.
something.
Yeah. When did you first get a Wii, and what games did you have with it?
Jack, you're usually first. You want to go first?
July 21st, 2007. Because, and I remember
How
that.
do you know the exact date?
First of all, you underestimate my power when it comes to remembering extremely pointless dates. Second of all, the Wii had on the home menu, it had like the mail, you know, like when you would get like letters from games, and it was just like pictures of shit, and you could like, it'll tell you like how much you played this game on this day or whatever. That was like the first recorded day on my Wii, and I still have that Wii too, so if I booted it up, it would have.
Yeah, that was
Actually,
like their like first version of like the activity log.
Kinda,
Basically,
yeah.
Yeah.
But it was that, and me, like a lot of people, when we first got it, the first game outside of Wii Sports that we got was Wii Play, because it comes with a controller.
It's not a game with a controller. It's a controller with a game.
It's a controller that comes with a tech demo, because honestly, the reason that Wii Play is the 5th best-selling Wii game of all time and sold 28.02 million copies is because that it was $50 for a game that came with a Wii remote. And everyone in the country collectively decided, well, I mean, I guess if I'm going to buy an extra controller, I might as well spend an extra $10 and get a game with it.
Yeah.
You know?
That was literally just everybody's thought process.
And it was bad. Wii Play is bad.
Hey, you can talk
except
about...
for tanks. Except for tanks. Tanks is good.
Listen, Wii Play is the game at least worth $10?
Tanks is worth $10.
Tanks is worth $10.
So it's worth the $10 extra to get the game with the Wii remote.
I mean, like, Wii Play nowadays is like $1.
Yeah.
But,
you can.
I
mean,
it's
Wii remotes themselves are not as expensive as they actually used to be. So
no.
Yeah.
But Tanks, I will die on the hill that Tanks is a top 10 Wii game.
Like, period.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's just the rest of the package just like kind of holds it back.
They should have just made an entire game about tanks.
God.
They should. I mean, they should have just released that as its own standalone.
I remember the selling point for that game, or at least for my dad, was that it had a billiards game. But it was extremely bare bones, and we realized that very quickly.
You know what game has a way better billiards game?
Clubhouse games for the Nintendo Switch.
Yep.
Clubhouse games for the Nintendo Switch. That's a good one. I was gonna say, do you have anything else to say about the your launch experience with the Wii?
I remember, like, this was the tail end of summer. So I remember, like, playing it a shit ton before the school year started. I remember my parents being more into it than I was when we first got it, because I remember going to bed and they would be up at like 2 a.m. playing Wii bowling like all fucking night. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Like, it's truly crazy how much of a grasp the Wii had on a casual market, and like how much it appealed to people who never touch video games. Like, there are grandmas who don't even know what a video game is that have played Wii bowling. Like, it's nuts.
The Wii really did tackle an entirely different market. I mean, it still had, other people pulled in, but it was definitely, I don't know. I mean, it and the DS were both kind of in that similar boat. But my first experience... Oh, go ahead.
Additional question to you guys about, like, when you first got your Wii. Where did you get your Wii?
Okay, that's going to be answered when I answer the first question together, actually. I didn't get my Wii from, like, retail or anything. I got mine secondhand from my my mom had someone who she knew, and they just weren't interested in their Wii anymore. So my mom ended up buying the Wii off of them. I don't remember it. Oddly enough, I don't know what it might have been one of the ones that was packed in with a Mario Kart Wii, because I never got a copy of Wii Sports with it. So I don't know if they like just didn't have it or they lost a copy. But I had Mario Kart Wii, and then I also had got Super Smash Bros. Brawl like just right after that. So those were like my first 2 games, because it was like, I want to say it was maybe May of 2009, but it could have been somewhere around April to June-ish. It was somewhere in the early parts of 2009.
I think I remember your blog post on GameSpot when you announced that you got a Wii.
I did make a blog post about it.
I fucking remember that, and I want to say that was like June-ish.
I was gonna say it was the same year that All Out Nintendo started.
Yup.
That much is for real. And honestly, I think part of the reason I ended up getting that Wii was because, I was, in charge of All Out Nintendo, and like that was a system from Nintendo that I didn't have, and everybody was talking about the games that they were playing on it that they liked, and I was like, and I had played Wii before. My friend had a Wii. He played his PS3 more, but he had a Wii, and we would play games on that, like Smash Bros. Brawl when that came out, and some Naruto game for some reason. It was okay. And Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3.
Good answer, Steve.
So those were like the 4 games that like really encapsulate my early experiences. But yeah, got mine secondhand.
Mine was a Christmas gift. But they weren't able to secure it until like January, February of 2007.
That makes sense.
So it was like after Christmas of that year. And I believe my game, no, well, I say believe, but, I know for a fact the game that came with it on top of, the system was Budokai Tenkaichi 2.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a
So
better.
I had that.
That's a better first game than mine.
Sorry.
I was gonna say we both kind of got you beat. I'm over here with Mario Kart and Smash Brothers. Landon's over there with Budokai Tenkaichi 2.
My third game on the Wii was even better than Wii Play. It was Big Brain Academy.
On the
Hell
Wii?
yeah, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a Big Brain.
I know that they have a Big Brain game on the Wii. It's just, is it any good?
I don't remember. It's been a very long time, and I think my mom bought it.
Stream coming soon.
I don't own it anymore.
You're talking to me. You
Cloud-
will probably have a copy soon.
But Cloud, my fourth game on the Wii, and you'll love this one, is Sonic and the Secret Rings.
Ooh.
No. No.
Big oops energy.
I'm not gonna lie. So like in Christmas 2009 was like I was not in like a good mental state. Like I was really, really depressed, and I only got one major gift that year, and it was Sonic and the Secret Rings, and it might have made me more depressed.
That's so sad. That's
Don't
so
worry,
unfortunate.
They made up for it next year with Sonic Colors, and again, it was probably
Okay.
like it was probably my only gift that year, but I loved it. So like they made up for
That's
it.
better.
And then
That's better.
Exactly.
It's
Right.
a slightly better game,
Jesus.
but only slightly better.
I would argue much more than slightly.
I don't know. I haven't seen a Let's Play of Sonic and the Secret Rings yet, so the jury's still out on that.
Oh, we only
True.
LP bad games.
Yeah, I mean that's true.
Which
That's
means
true.
that we don't play bad games anymore because we don't LP them.
Well, you still Let's Play, so there's that.
True.
Our Al's mentions he got a copy of Sonic and the Secret Rings on a field trip in Pennsylvania. I only rented Secret Rings and hated it, so I never owned it, and I still don't to this day. But I remember when Sonic and the Black Knight was coming out, it was like right before my birthday, and I was just like, I just want this. And they bought it for me, and I could have it like a month early. I was like, hell yeah. And that game, slightly better than Sonic the Secret Rings also. So, there you go.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
We did a Let's Play and a Redux of that Let's Play.
And a Let's
Yeah.
Play and a Redux of Sonic Colors.
Yeah. And
True.
there's no completed Let's Play of Sonic and the Secret Rings.
Just never started a Let's Play of Sonic and the Secret Rings.
True.
Mainly because you won't do it, Cloud.
That can be Justin's game.
Like, do you really think Justin is ever going to record
No.
Anything?
anything? Yeah, I mean
Never.
that was the end of my sentence.
Yeah, that was.
Anything.
I was just adding the period.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you go ahead and ask a question.
I was going to say, I mean, we might as well get into talking about the games now. But what are some of your favorite games? You got like a
On the-
top 5
On the Wii?
on the Wii. Top 5 Wii games.
Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario Galaxy 2, Xenoblade Chronicles,
Two other
Boy.
games.
two other Wii games.
Just think of
Do other Wii games even exist? Link's Crossbow Training
Jack, you literally defend Smash Brothers Brawl to the death.
and Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games.
He's not going to put in his top 5. Damn.
Yeah, I would say Brawl is top 5. And then probably Twilight Princess? I don't know, that's a tough call. I would need to think about that.
Okay.
Okay, think about it.
Okay. I'll get back to you.
I'm kind of
While
a
I think
basic
about it.
bitch. I've got my favorite Wii game is still Kirby's Epic Yarn, but I mean I've also got like Mario Kart Wii, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and probably Sonic Colors. Yeah.
I thought about it and I changed my answer. It's Resident Evil 4 Wii Edition.
There you go. Good
Okay.
answer.
Good answer,
Cheese.
Steve. Good answer, Cheese.
Good answer, Cheese.
Hopefully he doesn't come into your office now.
No, we're good.
Cloud, I'm
Okay.
surprised you didn't say Kirby's Epic Yarn.
I did.
did. That was
my,
the-
that was
you
the first
did.
one.
Was that the first? Oh my god.
Yeah,
just
I
missed
literally
it.
said that it's
The
my
first thing.
it's my
I was-
favorite Wii game.
Well, okay, I was thinking so hard about other games.
No,
Listen,
Kirby's Epic Yarn is number
sorry.
one, baby. Fucking love Kirby's Epic Yarn.
Okay, top 5 Wii games from me. Landon.
Pokemon Battle Revolution.
He's gonna just name 5-bit trip games, but not Runner.
Exactly.
Runner's gonna be the one he doesn't name.
Beat, Core, Flux, Void, and Fate. I
Those are
said
the only
those out
5.
of order, but those are the 5.
Well, now I don't have to do a bit. Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
Now I can just sit here for the rest of the evening.
But Landon, don't you have more notes?
No, he said that was
No,
the only
right at the end
question.
of my notes.
He said
Oh,
it was
that
the
was the
only
end of your
question
notes.
that he put in.
For this segment of the podcast, that is all my notes.
Damn, fair enough.
Do you have an actual like top 5 outside of like the Bit Trip games?
I'd really have to think about that. You think, with the amount of time we've had to think about this since the DS podcast, I would have put 3 seconds into this. Probably completely out of order. I do love Bit Trip Void. I usually just go with Bit Trip Complete because there's no reason not to just go with Bit Trip Complete.
Exactly.
True.
That's true.
Yeah, it was a retail package for the game. It had all 6 Bit Trip games,
And it had more levels.
and it had the additional levels. So that's usually my go-to for that. The Last Story,
Good
is
choice.
probably one of the best RPGs on the Wii. I do love Xenoblade Chronicles, but I'm not going to say that because Jack already said it, and I want to give some love to some other stuff.
Fair.
Yeah, I would probably say, I would probably say I like The Last Story a little bit more than the Wii version of Xenoblade Chronicles, only because we have the Switch remaster of Xenoblade, and that is phenomenal, and fixes some of the
True.
stuff that is wrong with the Wii one. Especially quests. Like, some of the quest shit is just god-awful in the original Wii.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic game, but I'm rambling. I do really love Budokai Tenkaichi 2. That is one of my favorite Dragon Ball games.
We did
so-
talk about that in our Dragon Ball podcast, and you did
Yeah.
say the same thing there. Consistency.
I'm gonna beat that drum as long as I can live. Maybe
Sparking Zero.
Sparking Zero. A little spoiler for later in this podcast. Maybe that will take the reins, but we'll see. That's 3. I gotta give a shout out to Tatsunoko vs. Capcom.
Yep.
One of my favorite 2D fighters of all time.
Good answer, Steve.
And then a 5th game. I'm gonna say The Conduit.
The Conduit.
I was
Yo.
thinking you would have said Metroid
Wii
Prime
music.
trilogy as a cop out.
I mean, that's a good cop out. That's
Yeah.
a good answer. I went
Good
with a
answer, Steve.
completely different first person shooter, but
Yeah.
We could
Oh,
revise that.
if I were to pick a 6th game, I probably should have mentioned No More Heroes 2: Desperate Struggle. That's a really good one. But I mean, that game's also on the Switch, just like you mentioned with one of the games that you said, Xenoblade
Yeah.
Chronicles. So
not that. Was there? I mean, not that all of my games are like exclusive to the system.
I mean, I mentioned Sonic Colors, but I mean, nobody
Yeah.
wants to talk about Sonic Colors Ultimate.
You can. We can do a whole Sonic Colors episode if you want.
I like Sonic Colors a lot, but I don't think I could talk about it for an hour and a half for a podcast episode.
I think we can. I don't think you have to. I think we can as a group.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Probably.
Possibly.
But anyway.
If we wanted to make an oddly specific podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, here we are doing a Wii one, so.
I mean, yeah,
Listen,
but this is
the
for a whole
Wii
system.
won. The Wii is so good, it gets its own podcast. We did one on the DS anyway, so why not the Wii?
We had the DS, America's system, and now the Wii. Which won?
And people have to get over it.
Exactly.
None of this Xbox versus PlayStation. Nah, the Wii.
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
If you're unfamiliar with what we're talking about, go listen to our 7th generation of consoles podcast. So you know what we're talking about. But the Wii won.
The one thing that was really, really popular about the Wii is, I mean, it had one of the most unique controllers ever on a video game system.
Oh yeah.
But on top of the controller being unique, there was a lot of accessories for that shit. There was a lot of peripherals.
Oh yeah.
Mario Kart Wii came with a wheel.
Shit that was just like very unnecessary, but like made you really feel like you were playing a sport or driving a car.
It was just plastic, folks.
It was really just plastic.
Just plastic.
But hey, no, actually cool peripherals though. Shit like the Wii Zapper. The Wii Zapper is sick as fuck.
Even though it is also
came
just
with
plastic.
Well, yeah, but like it came with Link's crossbow training, and it was like you
come with
held
the
it
game.
like a gun, and it was cool. Or like, God, was it called Nerf N-Strike for the Wii? That came with like its own Nerf gun that you put your fucking Wii remote into, and it was an on-rails shooter, and it was pretty bad, but it came with a gun. It's Nerf or nothing.
It's a Nerf or nothing.
Oh yeah, the gun also acted as an actual Nerf gun. Did we have any? Oh yeah, I did. Definitely. I had a
classic controller.
Yeah, I had a classic controller as well. I still have a classic controller. Actually, no, I have
I
two
remember
classic controllers.
I remember for Christmas that year in 2007, I got that 3-pack of like foam sport attachments to the Wii remote. It was like the baseball bat, the tennis racket, and the golf club.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but go ahead. I thought you weren't finished.
Oh no, that was basically it.
Okay, I was gonna say, correct me if I'm wrong, but the classic controller and basically like all the stuff that has that input that goes into the Wii, that's what they used for the for one of the mini classic consoles, right?
The NES Classic?
Yeah.
I believe
You mean like the controller port?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they use the same thing as the Wii input, so like you could actually just plug in your classic controller that you have from 10 years ago, and that is actually that's just really fucking cool to think about. Not that you have to do it; it's just neat that you can.
You can also do the opposite, and if you have like a Super Nintendo Mini, which I do, you can plug that controller into the Wii remote, and you can use that to play shit on your Wii.
Which, that's a good segue, because I'll answer my own question. I had the Wii wheel, but I bought one like completely separately, and it was like it's not even like the regular white plastic one. It's like I can't remember what it looks like because I don't think I have it anymore. I have one for my Switch, but I don't have one for the Wii. But like my mom got like these, like the tennis rackets and like a couple of these other things. It was just kind of like a bundle that like she got for cheap, and like I never ended up using it because we never ended up having any games that it went with. But to segue into the next piece of discussion that we can with the Wii before we kind of go through anything else, one thing I found interesting about the Wii that's like pretty much synonymous with the Wii's identity is that the Wii, like, it has the controller, the Wii remote, and the UI was in the form of channels. Like, you had this sensor bar that would read your Wii's inputs, and you could move the cursor across the screen, and all the different apps that you'd just see now as just regular app icons on today's UI, they were all channels. I'm sure that there's quite a few like channels that you might have fond memories of, like Everybody Votes channel.
The Everybody Votes channel was actually really fun.
It was I miss it so much.
I never used any of the other channels.
I used the Mario Kart channel because they had the Mario Kart Wii channel that like was separate of Mario Kart Wii, but I used it like twice. And I think
You guys never used the Nintendo channel?
What was on
Vaguely?
the Nintendo channel?
I mean, one of the most important channels, obviously the Wii Shop channel, a go-to
yeah,
channel.
of course.
Everybody
But he
of
never
course.
used that. Jack never used it. He just said he never used any other channels.
Okay, except for the Wii Shop channel.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
But yeah, the Wii Shop channel was basically their online store, and like online stores were like a big thing, but the Wii was definitely one of those systems that a lot of like indie games were really popular thanks to being able to buy stuff off of WiiWare, they called it. And then they had Virtual Console, which people to this day still hope will come back. Unfortunately, I don't think that's ever going to happen. They're just going to do the online things now, I guess. But
That's us.
Me
We're
too.
those people.
yeah,
We're those people. I want
They
to
did virtual-
own. I want
they
to
did
own them,
virtual-
not rent them, please.
they did Virtual Console for, I mean, an entire following generation after the Wii. So like they kept that going. So yeah, I mean, the Wii had a lot of cool stuff. I did it.
They really did.
I used the internet browser unironically so much with that thing.
I did too.
Yo, shout out to fucking who was it on GameSpot that was it Munchgun that used his fucking like Lightning McQueen TV on the Wii internet channel to browse GameSpot and post on forums. Shout out to that guy. I hope he's doing okay.
Oh god. Yeah, no. We had a lot of really cool people on All Out Nintendo, and the Wii's like entire lifespan like of relevancy was basically like, well, the second half of it was like All Out Nintendo's entire like lifespan. So we have a lot of fond Wii memories. I mean, we were there during Operation Rainfall, which was probably like the big last moment for the Wii. We're like, because I mean, I'm sure if you're listening to the podcast, you probably heard of it, but if not, Operation Rainfall was a very late Wii era initiative because Nintendo had 3 games that they weren't going to release outside of Japan, and then eventually released to Europe, but then still didn't release over to the US. And like they were like, hey, we got to get these out to the other regions, and they consisted of Xenoblade Chronicles, that was the big one. The Last Story, and then there was a third one that we're just not going to talk about because I'm sure Landon would be better off with us not talking about it.
We don't have
I don't
to
even
talk.
remember the game.
We don't even
Pandora's
remember
Tower.
the game. What? I've never played that game, and I've definitely never owned it. Definitely never played it through the first dungeon and realized that it was dog shit.
Why did white noise come out of Cloud's mouth?
It's a good question. I don't know why.
How did Jack understand the white noise that came out of my mouth?
What did Al just type in the Twitch chat? I can't read
Yeah.
it.
It's just blocks.
Yeah.
Censored.
Blocks. Weird.
Oh well.
Huh.
But anyways, Xenoblade and The Last Story were great.
Those were fantastic video games.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And as
Oh.
to quote the late great Meatloaf, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
But yeah, did you guys have any like interesting stories involving any of like the Wii channels, the Wii shop that you'd like to share? I know Landon, you have a lot of experience with it.
I have a lot of experience with buying.
Just buying.
I have a lot of experience with update day and finding new Wii titles.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
you'd actually
Every
just
Wednesday.
refresh and go on every week.
No, he's
No.
he's fucking with you.
God damn
He's
it.
quoting a fucking skit of a song about the Wii Shop channel by Nirvana the band.
Because everybody loves the Wii Shop channel, and everybody
that's
loves
true.
to shop on it every Wednesday.
I mean, that is true. That's beside the point.
It
though.
is, guys, it's Wii Shop Wednesday right now.
We're recording this on Wii Shop Wednesday.
Hell yeah.
It's happening. But for real, I had been thinking about this in preparation for this, and I think the Wii Shop channel and an extension, WiiWare, is the reason I like independent games as much as I do. I don't think without that I would be into like the amount of indie games I have gotten into.
Honestly, yeah, there was some fucking classics on the WiiWare.
Yeah, there was some good ones, there was some not so great ones, but just having demo access to some of those games like got
True.
me like into like more video games than I think I would have gotten into. And that extended out like, you know, further on, but like that was my gateway drug.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely didn't play like indie games like that quite that early. But I mean, I used to hear a lot about, you know, games like, you know, obviously the Bit Trip games, but also stuff like Cave Story. That was like a huge breakout success. I know that there's other games, but I'm trying to think what on the Wii specifically, because I mean, there's stuff that came out on like Xbox Live Arcade as well. Xbox Live Arcade was like the other big thing that like helped push some indies, but you know, there's both of those. But I did follow quite a few like retro revivals, like Mega Man 9 and 10 are two games that came out on online storefronts, including the Wii Shop channel, and it was WiiWare, and it was just fun having games that were like old games but new, and that was kind of like a thing that generation was starting to push.
I mean, I would say some other like notable WiiWare titles. Sonic 4 Episode 1 was another big one. Regardless of quality, it was
like sales wise and like hype wise, like people were.
Yeah.
And it's so weird. It sucks they never got to release the second one on Wii. We only have.
But I mean, at that point, like the Wii was like
dead.
Pretty out. Yeah, it was pretty out of it. There was a couple Final Fantasies. I think the biggest one was Final Fantasy IV: The After Years.
Yeah.
But there was the Crystal Chronicles games.
It's weird. So like they eventually did release the After Years packaged with Final Fantasy IV on like PSP later, but it wasn't like a big hyped release that they had for it. So like a lot of people didn't even know that this happened. So like a lot of people probably know that Final Fantasy IV: The After Years had come out originally on WiiWare. That definitely was a big game.
I don't know if you guys ever played it, but one I really liked was Fluidity. There was Jelly Cars. There was there was a Harvest Moon that came out through WiiWare.
There was a Telltale series on WiiWare.
Wasn't
Strong Bad's cool game for attractive people.
Strong Bad.
Wasn't Ace Attorney also a WiiWare?
It was, yeah. The original trilogy was on the WiiWare.
Yeah, so that was some people's first entry into that.
You would like raise your Wii remote really sharply to objection.
We had
there was Lost Winds and Lost Winds 2.
There was Pokemon Rumble, right?
Pokemon Rumble was one.
Locked to Japan was the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Adventure Squad series. There was like, I think, a set of 3 games for that.
Yeah, it was 3 games. One I remember playing the demo for was called Nick's Quest. It was like kind of like a Kid Icarus type.
Interesting.
I don't remember it being that great though. I'm trying to remember if there was anything else that was super huge. That was like at least decent. Oh yeah, Retro City Rampage. That one was a big one. It's like an old school Grand Theft Auto, like Grand Theft Auto 1 or 2, where it's a top down. That one was really good. And then God's favorite video game, Grill Off with Ultra Hand.
Hell yeah. Lost Media.
Lost. I mean, most of this is lost media at this point.
True.
Yeah. There's very few WiiWare titles have been re-released. World of Goo, Jack.
Oh, I can't. Oh my god. I can't
Probably-
believe I forgot about World of Goo.
Probably one of the,
Actually, one of the best WiiWare games.
yeah, it's definitely up there for best WiiWare game, and then just best Wii game. Like, it is a fantastic little package.
Really fucking good game.
For a Wii game. Jack, why haven't you streamed that yet for the channel?
One day.
Yeah.
One day I
Tomorrow's
will.
a day.
Tomorrow is a day.
Yeah.
God, I forgot how early that got ported to the Switch. That was like March of 17.
Yeah, they did that, and I think, did they do Little Inferno as well for the Switch?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think they did all, like, that, and Human Resource Company or whatever was, like, their other one from 2D Boy.
God,
yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, did you have any other things to add about like WiiWare?
I mean, like, those were, like I said, WiiWare was, like, sort of, like, it was my real
That's your
push
bread and butter.
into... Yeah, that was, like, I loved, like, downloading the demos for games, trying them out, and it, like I said, really got me into some stuff that I probably would have never been able to play otherwise, and, like, just helped shape my whole, like, gaming worldview, I feel like.
Yeah, and it helped like a lot of like basically all the games on WiiWare and Virtual Console by extension were much cheaper. So like for anybody that's listening who didn't really get to experience it, like nowadays you buy like cards that give you like game funds, and it's literally just a 1-to-1. You get, a wallet, like let's say you buy a $10 card, you get $10 on your online thing. The Wii had like a points thing, and they roughly translated to like 100 points is $1 USD. So
Yeah.
if you got like a $20, Wii shop channel card, it would be 2,000 Wii points, basically. And then the games could be anywhere from like 500 to like 1,000. Maybe you'd get one or here or there that's like 1,500, but like they were never more than $15 usually.
Yeah, 15 was like the super high point for
Right.
some of the, and that was like some of the top billing, like Final Fantasy 4 after years,
yeah, I think
might
that
have
was
been
1,500.
15, but like there was some like VC that got up to like 12. Like I think the 64
it was
games
like
were all 12, and then the ones that were Japan exclusive originally were like 13 to 15.
So I know that the NES era games were 500. SNES was 800. I think maybe there was like one or two that were 1,000, but they were all 800. And then N64 was mostly 1,000 with some 1,200s as well. Yeah, I remember seeing some of both, depending on the game. Because I know I remember buying Smash 64 that's still on my Wii today. I think that was 1,000.
I'm pulling it up right now.
Oh, I'm sure that they probably have that like information like cataloged somewhere. Like people who are that passionate about the Wii Shop channel were.
I'm pretty sure it was 500 for NES games, 800 for Super Nintendo, and 1,000 for 64. If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Okay,
But the point we're trying to get across is like you could get like if like let's say you got like 5,000 Wii points, which would be like a $50 game, because that's about that's the price that Wii games would go for mostly. Then you could get like anywhere from 4 or 5, like 5 to like 10 games off WiiWare Wii Shop channel combination of those. Like you could get a lot of games and a lot of good ones.
There was also a lot of like classic games that I really got into because of Virtual Console. And maybe that's why I like Virtual Console so much, is because I got to try out some games. Like, I had my dip into, your Marios and your Sonics, your Mario Sonics, if you will, for your 2D platformers. Call out to our 2D platformer episode, go check that out. But, like, there was some stuff that I hadn't really tried. Probably the biggest standout that I remember is Dungeon Explorer for the TurboGrafx.
Oh, wow. That's like a game you probably never would have even heard of or touched beforehand.
Or been able to play, and still have not able to play outside of that. And actually, I can't play it now because I don't have access to any of those Virtual Console purchases.
Yeah. Do you want to tell the story?
No, it's fine. We're talking about the Wii, not the Wii U.
True. We'll talk about that one day.
Maybe one day. But yeah, they've released a pretty solid catalog of old school stuff from these legacy companies. Like, they had Neo Geo games available through Virtual Console.
Yep.
Which you'll never see today.
You might find them buried deep within the Nintendo eShop, but it's like they're not like under their own category. You just have to kind of find them, and it has to be like up to the developer to report it over.
This is also how like I originally experienced the Sonic 8-bit games for the Sega Master System.
I was just about to ask you that.
Yeah, that's how I played Sonic 1 and 2 and Chaos. Was through the Master System. I mean, that's what the Let's Plays were, just camera in front of that, and we do that. So
back in the day.
Back in the day.
Jack, did you have anything to add about the online storefronts?
Not really.
Not really. I didn't have a whole lot of experience, that's why I wanted Landon to talk about all that stuff. But I do have one last thing to talk about with the Wii, because it is an integral part of the Wii. And then we'll probably move on to the other topic, because we have a second topic, surprise! But my question is, so the Wii was known for having motion control. It was a major gimmick. It was a major selling point of the system, is that you could use this Wii remote to do, motion-based inputs to do stuff. That's why Wii Sports was so popular, because anybody could just be like, oh, if I swing my remote, I swing the bat in Wii Baseball. Like, that's easy to grasp. But what would you say would be like a game or two that really made like the motion control an experience that you really enjoyed outside of Wii Sports? Because like Wii Sports is, and Wii Sports Resort is probably going to be a game that you might talk about, but we haven't talked about Wii Sports Resort yet. So I mean, if you want to talk about that, you can.
Honestly, Mario Kart Wii had like one of my favorite uses of motion controls on the Wii. Like, playing with the Wii wheel was fun, and
I used bikes a lot. So like the Wii remote, if you use Wii remote nunchuck, you could do wheelies with the bikes if you just moved the remote up, and then if you put it down, it would stop doing the wheelie. And it was actually pretty responsive. Like, it knew when to do the wheelie, when to not do the wheelie.
Kind of a missed opportunity for Nintendo to not like give you the option to hold the Wii remote and nunchuck like this, like sideways, like a bike. Then, like, yeah, that's kind of weird. They could have had like a bike handle peripheral.
The Wii's tracking would not have handled that.
But anyway, I think the single best, like, I thought that was fun, but I think like the single best use of the motion control in any Wii game by far is Wii Sports Resort. Like, great game, by the way. Direct upgrade from regular Wii Sports. Comes with the Wii Motion Plus. Has the super precise like motion.
Oh yeah,
with,
when did they come out with Wii Motion Plus? That was kind of a big thing. That
2009. And it was like super precise, and it was like 1-to-1 accurate, and it was really cool. And the games that it came with were really cool, actually. So, shout out to Wii Sports Resort.
I think my favorite use of the Wii is motion controls. And I know this is tacky, but probably the No More Heroes games, especially No More Heroes 2, because it was just better about it. But you literally shake the Wii remote and you look like you're jerking yourself off, and that's how you recharge the battery on your laser sword. And then also you do a lot of like these wrestling moves by moving the Wii remote and nunchuck, if you're using the Wii remote and nunchuck, which this is what I did, into a certain direction. So like sometimes you'd have to do it down, sometimes you'd have to do it up, sometimes you'd have to do it outward to the side. And it was something simple, but I thought it was a nice way to like add an extra little bit of pizzazz to the fights, because like it's a beat 'em up, so like having stuff like that just, you know, makes it a little bit more fun. Yeah, that's probably like my favorite usage of the motion controls. Nothing too crazy.
I would say the new Play Control games, a lot of those did really well, especially Pikmin.
Pikmin for sure.
Pikmin and Metroid Prime. The Metroid Prime trilogy did a pretty solid job bringing the GameCube games to the Wii and giving them like really playable controls. And Jack mentioned the game before. Resident Evil 4 has really good use of Wii controls.
It does. It had better controls than like other versions of the game that came before it, and it was more precise with the aiming.
Yeah, it's surprising how well what like rail shooters and first-person shooters were with it. Because I mean, you're basically using a light gun with the Wii when you're doing those, like Sin and Punishment. There is the Dead Space Extraction that were both railgun shooters. House of the Dead was on there, and all of those were all pretty solid with that.
I think I remember I didn't use it the whole time. I was more of like a classic control user, but I think I remember, and this isn't rail shooter, but didn't GoldenEye for the have like pointer controls?
That was a game that I remember having a lot of hype going into it before it came out.
It didn't quite reach it, but it was fun. I thought it was pretty good. Like, it wasn't like...
It was all right.
It wasn't Halo 3, that's for sure. But, well, I mean, no. it was good.
It also came out 3 years after Halo 3.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, if the Nintendo Wii was looking for, like, a first-person shooter alternative, like, that's the best it had, to be honest. And it was...
the Conduit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the Conduit 2. What are you talking about? It had two beyond subpar first-person shooters that I spent... Well, I didn't play Conduit 2. But I played the Conduit 1, and I played the online multiplayer for the Conduit.
I think I remember you telling me about this, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you told me.
I spent hours playing the fucking online multiplayer. That was my shoot 'em bro game.
Okay.
Oh my god. The Conduit.
Last question for real, because it was like the first major generation where this was a thing. But online gaming, what's like one of the big, like a couple of the big games that you played online?
The Conduit 2, babe. No, not Conduit 2, sorry. The Conduit 1.
Get over it.
Probably something else.
You have anything?
I mean, I played a little bit of like Wii, Mario Kart Wii, and Smash Brothers Brawl. I mean, those are...
Yeah.
Here, I'll just say your answers for you. There.
Yeah, that's what those are. Except the problem with those two games is that Brawl's servers were fucking terrible, and Mario Kart Wii's online was filled with hackers, so it was impossible to play.
So I managed to play a lot of games of Mario Kart Wii without getting into ones with hackers, but I do remember getting into a couple. Namely, one that was on Ghost Valley 2, and everybody's items were just constantly being generated and used without touching any item boxes, and somehow I got second. I lost to the hacker, but I was the best of the not hackers that race. So, but yeah, no, Mario Kart Wii, I'm gonna leave the big stories I have for when we get to a Mario Kart podcast very soon, but it is a big one for me, for sure. Definitely. That's like the biggest one. I tried to play a couple games online on Pokemon Battle Rev. That was okay, I guess. I mean, it was cool, but like, you could already just play online with like. I mean, it was the only way to play online with random ass people in Gen 4, because you had to add people with friend codes on the DS. So, I mean, if you wanted to just play random battles, I guess you got to bring stuff into Battle Revolution. And then there was that one time with Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3 where I went online to sell, and then someone played Hercule and then looped me with Present for You. I did talk about that in my...
You fucking got, man.
I got
fool. You fell for one of the classic blunders.
Right.
Really, Present for You is a classic blunder in that game.
It really is.
There are several characters that fall into that loop. Not all characters do, but...
But Cell's one of them.
Cell is one of them.
Yeah,
it is hilarious.
Yep. So yeah, I think we covered everything. You know, we talked about motion control, talked about the Wii Shop, WiiWare, we talked about the channel interface, we talked about just the game.
We didn't.
We have not talked about everything. Shut your whore mouth.
We haven't talked about the hardware.
What?
The hardware.
Oh yeah, the hardware. It kind of sucked.
Yeah.
We have not talked about Zack and Wiki, you son of a bitch.
True.
What is there to say about Zack and Wiki?
I don't know.
It doesn't have a sequel. Why didn't it get a sequel,
Jack? It didn't get
Jack?
a sequel.
Ichigo Bradley would tell us, but we kicked him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We banned his ass.
Anyway. I think the only other thing I wanted to say is fuck how thin the motion sensor bar was. Like the wire for it. It was like a millimeter thick. It was the thinnest piece of shit. I went through 2 motion sensor bars because they got eaten by pets. One of them was by my sister's goddamn hamster. The other one was Momo. Rest in peace.
Did you ever use that shitty wireless third-party sensor bar that like guzzled batteries like a motherfucker?
Oh,
I did.
See, that's the thing. I did, and it did guzzle batteries like a motherfucker, but it was also way better at point censoring than the default.
Weird thing.
Than the regular sensor bar. So it's like it might have guzzled batteries, but it didn't need a wire. And yeah, I remember like that was like the only time I was ever really mad at Momo about anything, because she chewed up my fucking sensor bar wire, and that was like around Christmas time too. So I'm like, all right, last minute Christmas present idea, give me a wireless sensor bar.
And this was like before a lot of people figured out that you can just light candles and use those.
True. Because they're just light sensitive.
It's just infrared. It's an infrared sensor.
So yeah, that's a fun trick for you if you ever can't find your sensor bar, which might actually be a thing if you decide to whip out your Wii. Don't take that out as a pause.
Just pull out your lighter and point your Wii remote at it.
Yeah, you'll live forever.
There you go.
Until your lighter fluid runs out.
But yeah, the Wii is, as you can tell, a big part of all 3 of our lives. We've all had our own experiences with our Wii. Pause. Very, very great system. It did win that generation. Whether people want to admit to it or not, there's a reason that thing sold like hotcakes. There's a reason your grandmother knows about that system. The Wii.
And that is why the Wii won.
But we do have a second topic to talk about because stuff happened. Landon?
Yeah, so I want to take a moment and just talk about Just Arkwright's Fantasia, one of God's gifts to RPGs.
Go watch that
Nintendo
LP.
Wii.
That is an underrated game that still hasn't been released. Re-released, god damn it.
You know, I was thinking about this, and it's not a game I would recommend to just anyone. Because it's kind of bad.
It's one of those, like, if you're in the mood for a mediocrely produced JRPG that's got solid mechanics.
The mechanics in it are so fucking cool.
Yeah.
I love the weapons. I love the magic system is really good because it's very customizable. it's just so unique in like those two aspects, and then the actual like fighting, how you have the like basically battle points and you can distribute those between your 3 party members as much as you want. It's cool. The story is kind of meh.
Yeah. It's like got bad presentation, but like it's got solid combat, and like that's
I wouldn't
half
say
of a
the
JRPG.
presentation's bad because the music is fantastic.
Okay, that's true.
It's just the story is kind of meh. The voice acting is funny.
Yeah,
is really funny.
It's funny. And what's in?
The graphics are what I would expect out of
bad.
a Wii RPG.
Yeah.
They're good. They're serviceable.
Good.
Like things look good. So yeah, I wouldn't say the presentation overall is bad. It's just like the voice acting is very campy and can get very funny. The script is not great.
Yeah.
I
don't even think Good Deliverance would have fixed the script, because the script itself is also just bad.
Yeah. But it's like, oh my god. Anyway,
actually,
E3
did you want to yeah, E3 died, and it was taken out back and shot by the Game Awards and Summer Game Fest. Landon, did you want to take a break first? Did you want to go get Tillamook?
I guess I can if you want to talk about our patron.
I can do that.
Okay.
I figured this was a good spot. So, folks, we're sorry we have to do this, but I mean, Landon went up to get stuff, so this is the best time to do it. We have a Patreon. $3 tier is our lowest tier. That's the Bronze Stooge tier. That gets you access to all the polls, help decide what our future content's going to be. We are looking to decrease the price of the higher tiers. Right now there's $6 and $10, but we're going to hopefully get that changed in the near future. But the Silver Stooge tier gets you access to a bunch of exclusive content. We do at least monthly, sometimes twice a month, depending on how much we can get out. And the highest tier, the Gold Stooge tier, gives you a shout out every podcast. Currently we don't have any, so there's nobody to shout out, but still, we want to thank everybody who's tuned into all of these so far. Thank all the patrons that have been helping support this podcast, of course, because without them, it'd be pretty hard to afford doing these podcasts on RSS every month, because RSS costs money. So
hey, that's me. I'm a paying member of the of society. Unlike
thank you.
One freeloader around here.
And then
you're talking about Cheese Whiz, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned the Patreon, and then of course we have everything else. We've got our Discord server that is in the link that is linked in all of our profiles. If you see us live on Twitch, we've got a link to it there. If you're listening to this on YouTube, it's literally in the description. If you're listening to this through our podcast services that we export through RSS, again, link is in the description to that Discord server. Come in, say hi if you feel like it. And we've got all the rest of our socials down there as well. The rest of it's not really that important, though. So,
did you give an exciting tease as to what's happening with the Patreon soon?
Oh, I did mention the price drop plans that we do have in place. I should also mention, though, somehow you reminded me of this, but the Pathfinder finale is, like, we've been doing a Pathfinder campaign so far. As of the time of this podcast being recorded on live on Twitch, we've got 3 parts up, but the finale, the 4th part, is going up very soon. So by the time this goes out, it'll be up. If you want to watch us do a wacky Pathfinder beginner box campaign, subscribe at the Silver Stooge tier and you can watch all that.
The ending to that is kind of surprising.
It's pretty fucking good.
It's kind of funny. It was mostly thanks to me.
Yes. He was our DM for it. So you want to share with us your Tillamook for the day?
It's same as last time. It's the peppermint bark.
It's just good?
No. I can still confirm it is still good.
All right.
I'm going to put it down now.
Do we want to jump into the second topic?
Yeah, so as we had mentioned earlier, E3 died, and whatever, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it was good for what it was during its time, but it really isn't necessary anymore, and they weren't able to do anything with it to modernize. So,
yeah. Instead, Jeff Keighley is running ads.
a lot of them.
Like, he's just running ads. So we're going to talk about the Game Awards, except we're not going to talk about the Game Awards part of the Game Awards. We're just going to talk about the games that got announced during the Game Awards.
And now, in fairness, only 18% of the Game Awards was actually devoted to celebrating the Game Awards that they gave out, unfortunately. Yeah. But, I mean, you can't lie. There's stuff to talk about.
Yeah. And if you're wondering, it's like almost the end of December, guys. Why aren't you talking about your review? The year's not over yet. We do that in January. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't do our, like, 2020 whatever year in review till, like,
until the year is fucking over.
We want to have a timeline of the actually whole year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not removing a month plus. Sometimes it feels like. My God. All right, I'm going to go down through the list of things that got announced at the Game Awards 2023. We can do a smash or pass with this really quick.
Yep.
And we can decide. Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons remake got announced.
Pass.
We've got Pony Island 2 Panda Circus got announced.
I played the original, actually. That game is... Yeah, it's a weird game.
Okay.
I had not heard about this until now, but I'm semi-interested.
Okay.
I was gonna say I watched
half Smash.
I watched most of the Game Awards, but I jumped in definitely after this because I didn't remember it being announced. I watched most of it, but yeah, no, pass.
The Rise of the Golden Idol got announced. I don't know what that is.
Pass.
Is that the Indiana Jones game? Or is that just a different name? Is that a different game with a name that invokes like similar feeling?
Invokes similar feeling.
All the description says, and the thumbnail for the game is just a mouth. It's like a pair of lips and teeth. It says a follow-up to Detective Adventure: The Case of the Golden Idol. The Rise of the Golden Idol is a bit of a mystery at the moment. That's the point now. Huh. Thanks, Polygon. Usual June got announced.
What's that?
Pass.
A narrative action game. Features a mix of third-person combat and adventure game story choices. Let's see. Harmonium, the musical, got announced.
Pass.
Windblown, from the Dead Cells dev team, got announced.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pass.
I mean, I like Dead Cells, but I don't know. Thrasher got announced from the Thumper dev team.
Pass.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of passes, folks. Dave the Diver is coming to Dredge as a DLC collaboration.
What?
Cool.
Okay.
You made that up.
No. Yes, I did.
Thank you.
World of Goo 2 got announced.
Smash.
Oh, I remember seeing that one. Yeah. That's pretty interesting.
That's the tie-in tonight.
Oh, Landon, I was gonna say this earlier, but I didn't have the time. I was looking to see if World of Goo on the Switch had a physical release.
It does, but it's
UK only.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it has the fucking Peggy logo on the front.
Oh, are you just
can't deal with that?
You can't deal with it because of the Peggy logo?
Essentially, there is effectively no physical release for the World of Goo.
Because it has the Peggy logo on it, making it atrocious looking.
I cannot handle that. There's only so much in this world I can handle. The Peggy, sons of bitches, I can't handle it. Metaphor SMT
You definitely made
Smash. No, that's the Persona game that's not Persona. And it looks fucking good.
It got a new trailer. We got to see some more of that. It looks pretty good. Apparently, they turned Matthew McConaughey into a video game in Exodus.
Oh, yeah, I heard about it. No, I don't care.
It's from ex-BioWare devs, so let's go ahead and just skip that.
Yep.
God of War Ragnarok got free DLC in the form of Valhalla.
That's cool.
I wouldn't even say that. I think so. The Untitled Goose Game team revealed its next game, Big Walk.
I didn't see that.
Big Walk. I did not see that.
I don't know what that's about, but it's from the Untitled Goose Game people, so I mean, I'm interested. You piqued my interest.
I'll send you guys a link right now. And if you guys want to watch it, let's do a watching, and then we'll skip
a live
the audio
watch.
forward.
It's a pretty interesting game. I'm kind of like, I don't play a lot of them, but like the concept of just kind of like a walking simulator, if they like do if it's done right and it has like a kooky or interesting environment or like atmosphere to it, like it can be really neat. So it's pretty cool. The fact that there's like a multiplayer is pretty cool.
Okay.
God, I hope it has. It does have online.
I mean,
guys, we have to stream.
So.
Guys, we have to stream this one day.
All right.
Sure.
Well, we know that. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown got a new trailer. Gonna pass that. The game's coming out very soon.
Oh wow, really? I keep forgetting.
Yeah,
Pass.
it's January 11th. Ooh. Oh, sorry. No. A demo's coming out January 11th.
Okay.
January 18th is when the game comes out.
That's still soon.
Yeah.
Still, though, January release date is like a death sentence. Like, they are not confident in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Ubisoft, so what do you
I mean,
yeah.
It depends on the game, really. Like, a couple Dragon Ball games have come out, like, in that time frame, and they've done relatively well. Didn't, might not be like, it might not be specifically January, but yeah, Kakarot and I think Fighters as well. I think both of those.
I don't
remember Fighters coming out then. I remember Kakarot coming out. In January though. At least, yeah. Anyway, Ninja Theory showed off a new Hellblade Senua's Saga trailer. Hellblade 2. I don't know if you guys ever played Hellblade 1. I have not, so.
I have not either.
No, I was right. Fighters was January 26, 2018.
Oh my god.
That was almost 6 years ago.
Jesus. Yep. Kemuri got it revealed.
Spell that?
Kemuri? Yeah, it's Kemuri. I can't remember which one that one was.
I don't know.
Kemuri.
I think I remember watching it and was like, yeah, I remember watching the trailer for this and I was just like, okay.
Moon Studios showed off No Rest for the Wicked. I will say this about this. I've played both of the Ori games. They're good. I am interested to see how the transition to a hack and slash style when their previous games were 2D Metroidvanias will go. Probably the second biggest, or for some people the biggest announcement. Sega announced that they're doing a bunch of their old school series are getting new games, including Jet Set Radio, Shinobi, Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, and Crazy Taxi. Jack, your thoughts?
Yes. Many thoughts. I'm excited.
That was the big one for me, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, out of everything that was announced at the Game Awards, like, the fact that they just kind of shotgunned out and they were just like, yeah, you know what? That money that we've been piling up thanks to the Sonic movie royalties and the success of Sonic Frontiers, this is where it's all going. And, like, they just showed off so much, and I'm excited for a lot of it. It's just so good to see Sega acknowledge that it has these IPs that a lot of people really did miss, and we're finally getting new games for them.
my favorite announcement was the first real trailer for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
That's a big one, yeah.
Yeah, it was like I feel like the other big thing.
That was the heretofore. It was known, well, whatever the opposite of that means. That was Budokai Tenkaichi 4. That is what it's called now, Sparking Zero. It's still the same series. They are just using a Japanese name instead because that's what it's called. I've heard good things about the roster size. Apparently, it is supposed to be pretty fucking huge.
Good.
But I've also heard that the story mode for it starts at Raditz again. So
they could just back that up very slightly. Let us just fight Piccolo Jr.
I mean, for all we know, the people that know about where it's starting only know like the beginning of the game, and there might still be Dragon Ball arcs you can unlock later in the game. That's still possible. My hopes aren't high, but
let's just push the needle back just
slightly.
Ever so slightly. One whole arc, and it gives you so much more context.
Yep.
So much more context, even if it's just the one arc.
It really is something that I think more Dragon Ball games need to do. Is if they're gonna start with Adult Goku, they should at least go back to that, because there is stuff that leads into the Raditz arc thanks to the 23rd martial arts tournament, and if you don't have that context, you're like, what's this green guy doing here? Why does he hate Goku? Like
the best starting point. I mean, that's not just start at the beginning of Dragon Ball. Is what the Kakarot DLC for the World 23rd Martial Arts Tournament did, which is Goku versus Demon King Piccolo during their last fight. Start there, and then like you have a good enough context. I mean, you don't know who the fuck Demon King Piccolo is, really, but you have enough context to go into the whole Piccolo
the rest
Jr.
of
arc,
the series,
and then further. Like that's.
Yeah, because I mean everything leading up to Piccolo, Demon King Piccolo can feel a little episodic enough that you could do without it, but like the fact that they leave out that important pre-Dragon Ball Z Dragon Ball stuff is kind of.
Yeah.
But we're talking a lot about speculative stuff. They only kind of just showed off some,
They showed off an environment and Goku and Vegeta fighting. So.
And Vegeta swatted away a Kamehameha blast, so that was pretty cool.
And it looks like Beam Clash is gonna come back.
Make a return.
Which is huge. The casting of Frank Stone is a thing, which is a spin-off of Dead by Daylight.
Pass.
Do not care.
New Mana game is coming out, Visions of Mana.
Oh yeah, that was... I mean, I've never played the Mana series, so I can't like pretend to be hyped about something I've never invested in, but I mean...
Good for fans, but pass, personally.
I'm sure fans are probably uneasy after the remake of Secret of Mana, but we'll see. Yeah.
Rise of the Ronin got a release date. I'm gonna say that was March 22nd, 2014. 2024. Jeez. The game looks okay, but I'm gonna probably not play it for at least 3, maybe 5 years. So who knows? Kojima Productions teased its Xbox horror project. I'm gonna skip past that.
Yeah,
assumes passes all around on that.
I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm interested in it, but I do want to point out that yes, we know Jeff Keighley and Hideo Kojima are good friends, but for fuck's sake, Kojima and Jordan Peele were up on that stage about as long as all of the Game Awards acceptance speeches were put together. Just to talk about this thing that we saw like 30 seconds of like footage from, of people just speaking the same like school learning thing like 5 times. Like
the Kojima effect.
Here we are. There's a new Jurassic Park adventure game called Jurassic Park Survival.
Pass.
Yes. Let's see. Black Myth Wukong got a new trailer.
That looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say about it. It looked pretty cool. It was cool to it was cool to have another work that was coming out that like is based on the Journey to the West, because like you have Dragon Ball, and then there's like
just some stuff that invokes
just
it,
something
but
else. Yeah.
But this is a new, like, more direct inspiration. Yeah. Suicide Squad got a new trailer. I'm gonna skip that. Warframe update, skip. Assassin's Creed Origins got a someone from Assassin's Creed Origins founded their own game studio.
Oh, okay, that's good.
I was like, what? And they announced a game called Zao. Yeah. Don't Nod announced a new game, Lost Records, Bloom and Rage. Everyone loves Don't Nod.
Yeah. Didn't they make Thomas Was Alone?
They made Life is Strange.
Yeah, duh. I'm getting my fucking...
Close. Very close, but...
My bad. What the fuck am I thinking of?
There's a new action game called The First Berserker that got announced. The theme song for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth got revealed.
Yeah, there was an accompanying trailer that they played in the background behind the orchestra playing the theme. So there's like a lot of stuff that people are dissecting there. I mean, they were just kind of showing a bunch of little snippets. It was kind of, just one of those typical like 30-second trailers you see in a movie that shows off, everything and nothing at the same time. Like, it just goes so fast. So I'm obviously interested in it, but like, I didn't really see anything that wasn't already going to convince me one way or the other.
More important than that is Apex and Final Fantasy are getting a crossover.
That is not more important, and that is vomit-inducing. That is vomit-inducing. I never want to speak of this again.
Well, guess what? I will probably forget that that's a thing after...
No, I'm joking. My girlfriend loves Apex Legends, and she mentioned the collab thing. I don't know if she's unlocked anything or whatever in that, though.
Honkai Star Rail got more shit. Cool. Skull and Bones got a release date.
Oh, I was gonna say, didn't they?
Cool.
They announced. Wasn't that part with Honkai Star Rail? Like, they also like showed off that they're doing like another game. Like, there was like I can't remember the name of it, but like, there was like. It's like it's the same people, and they're making like another game that's coming out. It might be later in the announcements if Polygon covered.
So Skull and Bones got a release date. There's going to be a Marvel's Blade game that is made by the same team as Deathloop. Twisted Metal, the TV show, got a season 2 announced. I didn't know people watched the first season, so here we are. Lightspeed LA got announced, Lightspeed LA announced Last Sentinel. I didn't watch the trailer for that, don't care. The First Descendant got its release window announced. I don't even know what that is. Hanyoverse showed a Zenless Zone
Yep,
Zero
that's the game I was thinking of. They're making another game a year after Honkai Star Rail.
Did they also make Genshin Impact?
Yes, same people. Yeah.
Genshin,
they've made other games, but like Genshin Impact was like the thing that put them on the map, and then they came out with Honkai Star Rail, and then literally that just came out this year, and they're already coming out with another game.
Okay, have fun, I guess. We'll see.
It looks fine, but like it literally just looks like all their other games. So like, I don't know, man.
It'll be what it is. A game called Den of Wolves got announced. Exoborn Master of the Apocalypse got announced.
I think I remember.
That's behind the Vampire the Masquerade team. There's a Fallout TV show.
Oh, okay.
Hello Games, famous for Joe Danger, and I guess No Man's Sky, but whatever.
Yeah.
Announced Light No Fire. So we'll see how that turns out.
That logo looks suspiciously like the one from No Man's Sky. It's more like the game is basically like Caveman Planet. I don't know. I'm trying to think of the antithesis of No Man's Sky, but same exact flavor.
Sure, yeah. We'll see. Stormgate got a new trailer. I don't know what that is. They revealed a new Guilty Gear Strive character. Jack, your thoughts?
Oh, yeah, I was waiting for you to start talking about this. Hell yeah. This is a smash. Big fuck, I just bumped the shit out of my mic. Yay. Hell yeah. I've been waiting a very long time for them to put Elfelt in the game, and I'm happy. Smash for the inclusion, and smash Elfelt.
Double smash. That's a
double smash.
Right there, folks.
That's a rare one for the Game Awards.
Yeah. I might be the only double smash. Final Fantasy 16 DLC.
I was going to say, listen. Sephiroth's inclusion in Smash was also a double smash for me.
What?
You heard me.
Did he stick his sword up your butthole or something?
Am I Galeem?
Come all the way out. It came all the way out his mouth.
Am I the final boss of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate?
I guess so.
Yes.
Okay.
Final Fantasy 16 DLC got announced.
Okay.
And released.
I haven't played. Yeah, they shadow dropped it. That was kind of interesting. I still haven't played past what I did in the demo of 16. I thought it was pretty good, but I just haven't had the money to be I'm gonna buy $70 Final Fantasy game. I'll wait till it's on sale.
The finals from X-Dice devs.
Oh, that's the one that's God, I can't remember. I just remember there was yeah, it takes place in some sort of death match that's
yeah.
It looked interesting. It looked more interesting than 90% of the stuff they showed off, but that's not saying a lot.
New Monster Hunter game, Monster Hunter Wilds.
So, while I don't think any of us are particularly big on Monster Hunter, that was probably for the majority of people the big. Oops, I just spelled my mic. The big number one announcement, which was why it was the last one that they showed off. Basically, if you were a big fan of Monster Hunter Rise, Monster Hunter Worlds, looks like you're in luck because they're coming out with a new game.
Yeah, it's a third-rate announcement at best. Thanks, though. And last
I'm just
thing
being
on this,
objective.
I am being practical. Is Boulder Gates 3 is now out on Xbox.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I haven't played Baldur's Gate 3, but if I did, I wasn't going to play it on Xbox, so.
Yeah. Maybe I'll wait for a Switch release, aka I'm never playing Baldur's Gate 3. Thanks, though. Thanks for trying. I don't know, that's probably not true. I'm not uninterested in the game. I just have so many other 200-hour RPGs.
2023 was really a packed year, and in the bad sense that we didn't even have enough time to get all the stuff we wanted to this year so far. We'll be talking about that in another podcast.
Yeah. So, any final thoughts about the Game Awards, aka Winter E3?
No real thoughts about it. Actually, it came and went
mid,
and I did not care.
Yeah.
The fact that I can count the things that I have remotely any interest in on one hand says enough.
On two fingers.
Yeah, if I could be generous, I could say that just because the thing is they also showed off stuff that we already knew about. They were just showing more stuff of it off, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. This is not the first time we've seen this game. This is the fifth time we've seen this game. We get it. It comes out next year. Everybody that's into Final Fantasy wants the game.
It comes out in what, 2 months? 3 months?
I want to say it comes out
February.
I think it's March.
So it's pretty soon.
Yeah. So they're not driving up much more hype than there already is for, who's getting it. But so like the two big ones are definitely Dragon Ball Sparking Zero actually getting revealed, not just like, hey guys, we're making a new Dragon Ball game. And then just that's Sega IP revival, man.
Yeah, that one's really
I never thought I'd see the day where I would be like, Sega stole the show. But I mean, with almost nothing else of value to show, Sega kind of stole the show for me.
Yeah. I mean, there was what we said, the one game, the walking simulator. What was it called? Big Game? I don't know.
Big Walk.
Big Walk. That's the game. I will forget
Big
about
Walk.
that. Big Walk looks interesting enough for me to play it with Jack on stream.
Hell yeah.
That's all that matters. And then Jack has his waifu that he can double smash later.
Hell yeah.
All right, so let's walk to the world of outside gaming, or outside the podcast rather, because we'll probably talk about gaming related stuff anyway. What else is new with everyone? It's been a couple weeks.
Not a ton, really. I haven't been doing much. My girlfriend has been sick. I went to last few local shows that I was planning on going to for the year. I drove out to Mishawaka last weekend for a show.
I was out there once.
Yeah, you were out there a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise not really a lot going on with me. I got probably the most interesting thing that's happened to me in the past couple weeks was that I got a complete in-box copy of Kirby Superstar Ultra, and I've been playing that lately. Great fucking game.
He does play video games.
Shush.
Okay.
But that's all I have to say.
So for me, I actually have quite a few new things. First, I mentioned this earlier in the podcast, but I have been doing a lot of video work for not just this channel, but I have another one of my own. But the Pathfinder campaign is finally going to be finished up on our Patreon, so I'm excited about that. Took quite a while to edit the parts together. I was slacking on the last part because the last part took a lot less time than I thought. It was really just part 3 that took a really long time to put together because it was so long that it was crashing my software. So I'm happy that that's done. But I mean, I also started a separate solo channel. That's got the first video out on, first real video out on it that I was working really hard on, and it's doing pretty well. It's already got a couple hundred views, so quite a few people like it. So I'm pretty happy about that. I don't know when we're eventually going to get it up, but we did a Mario Kart marathon because the Wave 6 DLC had dropped a month ago, and we just have been trying to get together a chance to play through all 96 courses. We did that. We will have a video for that out on YouTube at some point. Jack is doing the editing for that. Jack, did you get the stuff the other night?
Did I get what stuff the other night?
The files?
No.
He's got a ways to go, but he's gonna get there, right?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. No. But we have a few other Mario Kart things for our channel planned before we basically never talk about Mario Kart again for at least a year. I don't know. Maybe it depends on when Nintendo decides they want to announce the next Mario Kart game. But I mean, we've got a tier list we're gonna do for all the tracks on Patreon. That's gonna happen pretty soon. So if you are interested in finding out our thoughts on the Mario Kart tracks, get subscribed to the Silver Stooge tier. It's coming. And then we have a podcast that we'll be doing for Mario Kart very shortly. The series as a whole. So I've been revisiting the series. I've been replaying a bunch of the older games. I attempted to set up an emulator to play Mario Kart Arcade GP. That did not go well, so I don't think I will be playing the Mario Kart Arcade games. I have played like one of them at an arcade once. I will probably have to try to go off whatever vague memory I have of that. But yeah, I'm replaying a lot of the older ones. 7.
Jack and I played
DS.
one once.
Super Circuit. I'm
Jack and I
excited.
played the arcade ones.
I'm excited
Yeah,
to hear you
we
guys'
did.
thoughts then. But yeah, that's what's new with me.
Lennon,
I'm at Doku Adventure right now. It's happening.
right now?
He's
Right
at Doku Adventure
No
right
way.
now.
The grind's real. So I think the end of last podcast, I mentioned some of the stuff that was going to happen, that I was going to be doing. And I think all of that happened. My band that I'm in, we had our holiday concert. I went and saw Jeff Rosenstock. Those were all fun. Jeff came up to the upstairs to play his saxophone. And so I have a picture of the back of him.
Nice.
Specifically, Kari took a picture of the back of him, and that was fun. He came like right in front of us. It was cool. And then I went and saw Godzilla -1, and then I
still
went
need
and
to
saw
see that.
Godzilla -1 again. It's really good. It's easily probably one of the best films I've seen this year. I mean, I didn't see a whole lot of movies this year, so
I mean, to be fair, IMDb average rating, it's the best film all year. So there's a lot of people that think that agree with you.
yeah. It's definitely one of my top. It's definitely one of my top Godzilla movies of all time.
I have
So,
to watch it. If I'm
it
hearing
is-
that it's like that good.
Like, even like both watches, I was like, damn, this is so good. There's like I'm not gonna go into spoilers at all. There is one sequence where the CG is a little bad. But that's it. Like 95% of the time, anything with Godzilla on screen is top notch. Like the story is fantastic. It plays to a really human emotion story that makes you care about the characters. It's really good. If you can see it, watch it. If you have to wait until it comes out to streaming media or the physical release, then do that. But it is definitely worth experiencing at least once. It's good.
Duly noted.
Yeah. It's a very grounded story too. How familiar are you with the plot synopsis?
Of this movie specifically?
Yeah.
Not at all.
So takes place between the very end of World War II, so when all the bombing raids were happening in Tokyo, and then the nukes, and then it goes, I think, as far as 1947. So it's pretty much post World War II recovery Japan.
Okay.
For when it's taking place. So I think it's the earliest a Godzilla movie has canonically taken place.
That is interesting.
Yeah. So
I mean, that would
this
make
is-
sense. It's called Godzilla -1.
The -1 actually is for the way they describe it is the set Japan was reset to 0 after World War II. And so the -1 comes into
Oh.
effect. Godzilla is
Causing
bringing-
the -1.
Yeah, is bringing the
Them
world-
down below
or-
0.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's
bringing them
interesting.
back down. So that's what that means. But I also took it as this movie technically came out at the 69th year of Godzilla, because the 70th year of Godzilla would be next year. 1954 was the first year for Godzilla, so the 70-year anniversary is next year. So I also took it as that.
They're celebrating 70 -1.
Yeah, they just won't say 69 out loud because it's
Yeah.
too nice.
Nice.
But no, it's a solid movie. Very, very well done. Yeah. Let's see. I've been playing. I got back into Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright. I decided I spent $200 on that game. I should play it. Also, we have Ace Attorney Apollo Justice Trilogy coming out soon, and it's still... That is the only Ace Attorney that I have not, fully played through. Minus the investigation games, but I watched Jack play those. So, go watch the Great Ace Attorney VODs.
Gotta have that in every podcast at least once.
Here we are.
We didn't forget.
Something.
Oh no, we gotta plug specifically the Great Ace Attorney VODs.
Yeah. Jack, did you ever beat Layton versus Wright?
Oh no, I barely started it.
Damn. So I'm probably further than you.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I'm in chapter 3 right now. Basically, Layton and Phoenix have actually teamed up at this point.
Gotcha.
Realsies. I will say this, it's not much of a spoiler because it's literally chapter 2 of the game. It is kind of funny to see Professor Layton behind the attorney stand.
Mm-hmm.
And shouting objection. And using Professor Layton's voice clips for that. It was really funny because he doesn't feel like he fits in Ace Attorney.
I need to see this.
Yeah, it's it's
I do still own the game.
Please.
I need to get back to it.
Play it at some point. It's
I will.
Yeah. It's fucking funny. I mean, the game's great because it's a mixture of two fantastic styles of game. But yeah, it's pretty funny to watch Professor Layton. They do a dual point. Both of them will go back to back and point at out at one of the witnesses. It's kind of funny for the courtroom shenanigans. And then what else have I been playing? Oh, Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince. Fantastic. I love that game. I'm super enjoying my time with that.
Would you say it's becoming a true classic?
True classic. Hope I play it some more. Has there been anything else I've been playing? I think it's just been those two. Yeah, I'll leave it off there.
Yeah, that's it. We
moral
talked
of
quite
the
a bit.
story: the Wii won. Go watch Godzilla -1,
And go watch the Great Ace Attorney VODs.
and
Get over it.
Okay.
All right, we'll see you next time. Bye.
This is where we leave. So
Roll the outro.
bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Gaming Stooges Talks podcast. If you enjoyed us, consider subscribing to our podcast RSS feed or follow us on youtube.com/GamingStooges and twitch.tv/GamingStooges for more gaming content. If you'd like to chat with us, join our Discord. The link can be found in the episode description. We also want to thank all of our Patreon supporters. Your continued support means a lot to us. Not already one? Please take a look at what we have to offer anyone who becomes a patron at patreon.com/GamingStooges. See you next time.